in the news. You know how we do it right here on this program. We get to talk about issues trending in every segment of the polity, be it economics, aviation, campaign right now, politics, every aspect that affects us on a daily basis in this part of the world. We get to talk about it right here on issues in the news. And when we bring out the topic of the conversation, we create a premise through which we will hear from you. That is how the conversation goes. We hear from you, you hear from us, we establish a premise. And of course, this is the platform where you get to air your views, give your recommendations, and possibly critique. That is what a democratic system is all about, where we hold our leaders accountable for whatever actions it is that they take or whatever actions it is that they display. My name is Esther Wachiku, and I must say to you that it was quite a weekend. A lot happened both in Lagos and in Ogun State. But I will talk about Ogun State today, because if I should talk about Lagos now, what transpired, you will now say, Esther has come again. She's particularly against this particular person. But the thing is, when we bring out these things on this platform, we try to analyze things logically. You know, you're going about a campaign. Very good. This is the season. But then all the markets are locked up because of that particular campaign. I mean, I don't understand why. Why would the market be locked up for the campaign? You can go about the campaign, come into the market, seek for your support from the people while they open their shops and while they are selling, but the markets were closed. I don't understand. He has frozen all government accounts in the state. I recall when the senator, there was a time the senator was trending. They call him the dancing senator. He's now a governor. So let us remove all those crews. And it felt like this man was a cruising guy. You know, the guy, no problem, like stress. When it's time to dance, he dances, wine very well, do his thing. But then it happened to be that he won. He reminds me of the president of Ukraine. He was a comedian, and just look at how he became the president. And he has changed. I will say that current war in Ukraine has actually made this man change. A lot has transpired and has sharpened him, has shaped him to the kind of person he is now, the kind of president or leader that he is now. And he's been able to draw loyalty from the Ukrainians, from a comedian to a strong president who has elicited a lot of support from his people despite the daunting challenges. I mean, I want to see how Governor Adeleke's time is going to be like, what he is going to elicit. Now let's continue. So he directed this in his first executive order upon inauguration on Sunday. And now in his speech delivered at the inauguration, alleged that the erstwhile governor of the state, Adeleke Oyetola, carried out some actions maliciously after Adeleke won the July 16 governorship election, including a hurried employment without provisions to sustain them. He claimed these actions were roadblocks channeled at making things difficult in his administration. Adeleke also reversed the state name from State of Osun to Osun State, saying the former was alien to the constitution. So let's hear him. He says, "My good people of Osun, since you elected me as your governor on July 16, 2022, which the Independent National Electoral Commission announced on July 17, 2022, the former governor, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, maliciously started putting roadblocks to make things difficult and almost impossible for the new administration to serve you." All right. He said mass employment were carried out without budgetary provisions for salary payments for the new employees, even when the state was struggling to pay salaries and deliver other services. Various hurried and criminally backdated contracts were awarded, and again without budgetary provisions. So appointment of several obas were hurriedly done without following due process, just to mention a few. So he went ahead to say all efforts to get the governors to set up a transition committee and submit handover notes in line with best practices proved abortive. It is therefore, according to him, his desire to ask for patience, understanding from his people, to give the administration a few weeks to review and sort out all the actions and malicious confusions which the immediate past administration has created since July 17, 2022. So he says that those actions were indeed vindictive measures against the people of Osun State for voting them out of office. Now, besides the statements through which he needed to set up his premise and try to make the people understand, if you listen to his inauguration speech, he talked about the areas through which he intends to start up as soon as possible. So there is usually this adrenaline when you start up something new. There's a vibe, there's a pulse, there's a positive energy. You're mandated, you want to do things the right way, so you're supposed to do it. And let's hope that he keeps up with the energy. But let's take a listen to what he said at the inauguration. And of course, I have Mr. Elvis via the telephone while he tends to explain. He gives us his perspective to what Adeleke said. And of course, considering the previous administration that he has taken over from, how will he be able to cope with what is already on ground? All right. So let's take a listen to him and then the program continues.
That my intellect, passion, I stand on the podium of history with a sacred pledge to God and the good people of Osun State that my intellect, passion, and strength will be devoted to nothing but the welfare, peace, and security of our people. As I accept the mantle of leadership entrusted upon me by the people of our dear state, I am conscious of the enormous challenges and responsibilities ahead of me. And we, beginning from this hour, work day and night, with deep sense of purpose, to be a servant to you all. Our gathering here to witness the materialization of a new era is not an accident of history. We are all programmed by the Almighty God to be what we have been, what we are, and what we will be in future. Let me use this occasion to salute the founding fathers of our dear state. All the past, I promise that those expectations of the workers, traders, artisans, farmers, business owners, students, pensioners, traditional and religious leaders, and indeed all residents of Osun State will be met by the grace of God and the cooperation of everyone. Under my watch as the governor of Osun State, I will boldly correct all past injustice, corrupt acts of policies by any previous administration which are against the collective interest of our people. Let me say here that from education, health, mining sector, agriculture, road infrastructure, and supply of potable water, let it be known to all that it is no longer going to be business as usual. And I repeat, it is no longer business as usual. By administration, we demonstrate a high standard determination to tackle and solve the problems of poverty, illiteracy, disease, and poor infrastructure. Your governor will be a people's governor and will be accessible, responsive, consultative, and proactive in handling small and big matters of the state governance. I know that as a broad product of the collective will of you, my people, there's a heavy weight of history on my shoulders, and I accept the urgency of your expectations, the depth of your aspirations, and your conviction in me to build a better state. Your aspirations and your conviction in me to build a better state. Your aspirations and your conviction in me to build.
All right, so you heard it from Governor Adeleke, and you heard the vivacity with which he was able to talk about what his administration intends to do, and of course reel out his mandates and actionable plans that he intends to put in place. So he is asking for the patience, understanding of the people, to give his administration a few weeks to sort things out, to straighten out the gallops that he has come to see. And so he's asking that they should try to understand. However, he gave new directives and saying that these directives will be backed up with appropriate executive orders. The first off is that he immediately froze all the government accounts and banks and other financial institutions. He immediately established a panel to carry out an inventory and recover all government assets. And of course, again, an establishment of a panel to review all appointments and major decisions of the immediate past administration taken after July 17, 2022. Now, the question I am putting out to you is this. The challenge that Governor Adeleke has is quite huge, and there is already a perspective that Nigerians have about him. You know, we know him as a dancing senator. There's a perceived nature of him to be someone who doesn't really take things too seriously, and now he has taken over the mantle of leadership in Osun State, and he needs to deliver. So, with what he has said, with what we heard him say, with what he has actually reeled out on most of the national dailies, as we all know, do we strongly believe in him carrying out the duties and the promises that he has actually put on the table? Then secondly, his predecessor, the administration he took over from, the governor he took over from, exactly what was the meaning of making in rash employments a few days to your exit? What exactly were you trying to do? And then him having to make investigations, would one consider it to be a personal attack, possibly because the past governor is not from his political party? These are the questions I'm throwing out to you. However, I have Mr. Elvis via the telephone. We need to hear from him. I think that would help us understand, you know, the area. I need you to respond on this particular conversation on issues in the news. Mr. Elvis, good morning. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
All right. Okay. Very good. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well and clear.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program.
God bless you. Thank you for this topic. I have to congratulate the former dancing senator who is now a governor. By congratulations, he has gone through he has withered all the storm. He is somebody that is dedicated to that position. He needs it. We saw what happened 4 years ago. He almost clinched it.
Yes.
Until INEC declared the inconclusive election and an alliance. They had to, SDP has to form an alliance with the APC to make sure he didn't get that position then through Mishore, who is now the secretary to APC, general secretary to APC. But Be that as it may, I have to congratulate the Osun people too for knowing what they need. In 2022, they said, no, this man can be our governor, and they voted him and brought him back to power. So I think it's a new way. Like he said it's not business as usual. That's what he said yesterday. And we have already started seeing that. First of all, he has reversed the name of Osun State. Now to Osun State, no longer the state of Osun, as we've known since Adeleke last time, state of Osun. And again, he has been one good thing he did yesterday that I also liked. At least he had made 3 appointments, which shows that since July 17th, even before the election and now even after he won the election, he knows what he needs. And it's not the one that will come and stay in government for another 6 months before he
sets up his cabinet.
A cabinet. So at least 3 have come up yesterday, which are very key. His own cabinet, which is good. All this one will help him to form the general cabinet the state needs. The state has to, be moving, because if he promised the people that it's no longer business as usual, he must live up to his expectations, because there are lapses that brought him. Those lapses, he must be able to block them up and move forward. Again, I like his strength. It's vibrant. Even if they say he's a dancing senator, let him even bring that happiness into government. Government is not supposed to be something that everybody is complaining. It should bring that happiness. A dancer is somebody who is always happy. That means it should let your Osun people, come out of the whatever they have passed through in this past 12 years of Adegbeshola, 8 years, and these 4 years of Oyetola. No, let them put it behind them. Let the government house be bubbling. Let everybody that comes in there, pensioners should be paid as at when due. Gratuity should be paid. Salary should be paid. That's the state that have been paying half salary for some time. I don't know whether they reversed it. For a very long time, they were paying half salary as a result of they said they don't have money. All this one should be worked on. It should bring that bubbling lifestyle he has in him into government, and it will help the people. Once the heart is happy, the heart is merry, productivity will shoot up, productivity will be high. You are not complaining when you are going to the office. You know the faces you are going to meet are out cheering faces. You will be eager to go to work.
All right, Mr. Elvis, let's talk a little bit about his predecessor, the governor, the former governor that he took over from. So there were quite a number of allegations that were ruled out by Governor Adeleke concerning his immediate past governor, that is Boyega Oyetola. He said that there were mass employment carried out without budgetary provisions for salary payments for the new employees. He said that, and meanwhile, like you rightly said, the state is struggling to pay salaries. So how comes you're employing people en masse and there is no measure through which payments will be made? And of course, there are no auditory processes. There are no transcriptions to prove on most of the fundings and financial allocations that were made for some of the projects within the state, which he said he has set up an investigative panel to look into that. He rightly said that it will no longer be business as usual. And he said that, of course, there was no transition committee. Normally, when a governor is, taking over, when someone is taking over a new seat of governorship, there should be a process through which things are properly handed over, which includes all state documents, whatever information that is required that belongs to the state for public knowledge, and all of that will be handed over to the new governor who will be in charge of the administration of that state. And Adeleke is saying that was not done. There was no handover notes, nothing. Most of those processes proved abortive. So the question now is this: does it mean that when we have people be in charge of certain public offices where they represent the interests of the people, is it so bad in this part of the world that these leaders feel no one can hold them accountable, especially when it comes to the following due process? This is governance. It's not your personal property. The monies that you allocate, the funds that you request for, financial inclusion that has to do with every sector within the state is not yours, it's for the people. Why was there no proper handing over process, regardless of how you feel?
Esther, let me tell you, in this part of the world, we take public office to as if it's our own private job. You see, that's why you see some governors, when they are leaving the office, they start moving generators and air condition. They start vandalizing the office. It's very unfortunate. You lost the election in July, and between July and November, you started, bloating the state services. You are employing, you are promoting people to permanent secretary. In fact, last week Thursday we were hearing about 30 permanent secretary when you were going to hand over on the Sunday. I don't understand what happened for the past 4 years that those people were not promoted to become permanent secretary. I think what the governor has done, set up a committee to look whether this appointment and these promotions were necessary, is a good one. He doesn't want to come and just drastically sack them or whatever, or demote them, because these are still Osun people, and these are people that he's actually coming to govern. The state of Osun, the people of Osun State, if they are happy, that will also mean that the governor himself will be happy. I think I love what he has done. Let that committee come up with a report. But a situation where the outgoing government will be laying ambush, setting a booby trap for the government, the next government that is coming, is very bad. You understand? He knows the pulse of Osun State more than the incoming governor. He knows it better. And if you know the pulse of Osun State, and you know the pulse is laying, and you want to, bring in problem for the incoming government, which means you don't even love your people. Again, you see, what happens normally in an ideal situation is that when a political party win an election, whether opposition or whatever, there's supposed to be a committee that will be set up to say, okay, transition committee.
Yes.
The new incoming government will elect some people and say, okay, work with the administration that is still in power throughout this period, so that he will tell you what is on ground, where we are to start off from. But you see, in Nigeria, when we lose election, we take it as if it's a personal fight. You understand? The governor yesterday was still telling the Osun people, I am coming back. The case is in the court. We don't want to dwell into that.
He's coming back.
Coming back. Yes, that's what he said yesterday, that he's coming back. Which means because he said he's coming back, that's why there was no proper handing over to the government, to the new governor, because he still believes that he can keep some of the documents until when the court, brings him back or whatever. But we don't know where the judgment of the court is going to fall on yet. We have seen Nigerian leaders before that told Nigerians that I'm stepping aside. Today, they never got to that seat. Well, we don't know, but let's leave that for God. So a situation where you are not living with your mindset, you are living with a kind of mindset, you are setting booby trap for the government that is coming, it will not help the people. This man will take time to begin to read, go through files, begin to study files.
So he doesn't implicate himself.
And that will slow down the government, and that will slow down the picking of the government. It will slow down the people, the progressive movement of the people as well. If you love the people, do what will make the people to be happy. Don't be self-centered. Don't be selfish. Governance is a public office. It is not your personal office. By the time you go in there and serve, when you are leaving, hand over to the next person. Somebody left there for you to come in. You will also leave. Whether you stay 8 years, you stay 4 years, you must leave one day. These are things that Nigerians should know. When they are in a public office. Public offices is not a private office. When you are going, you are carrying files, you are hiding information, you don't want to hand over, you are grudgingly angry. Why are you angry? You never made yourself governor. People made you governor. So the next person that came in, they said, no, we don't want you again. We need the next person. So that person again, in another 4 years' time, if it doesn't serve them well, you still see the turn of the tide will still turn over again. So that's what makes it again. That's what makes it sweet. Not a situation where you are in government, you are creating enmity. You are not enemies. Both of you are for common interest of the Osun State people, the well-being of the Osun State people. That's what you are for as governors. So I think I didn't like that idea that there was no proper committee set up for transition committee to set up for the man to know where to pick from. But he has told Osun people that he's bringing joy, that pensioners, salaries and all others will be done. I think he has to hit the ball, he has to hit the ground, running fast.
Apparently, he said that all processes, that is all motives through which the transmission committee will be set up, proved abortive. So it means that he tried to reach out to him, to ask him for all that it's needed to be done so that we would have a smooth transition of government, but that did not take place. That's basically one thing he's saying. But now that he has frozen the government accounts and most of the establishments for now, he said for the next 2 weeks at least, he's asking for the patience of the people. So that means he wouldn't be able to touch any government finances within the state for now to do whatever it is he needs to do. He wants to take a proper auditory of whatever it is that is on ground before he puts his hand into it. That's basically what it means.
Yes, Esther, freezing the government account is a good one, because remember, this man never has a transition committee that knows where the properties of the state is, where the money of the state is. And let me tell you, some civil servants will still be loyal to the government that is going. So Now, the only way to check that is to freeze the government account so that those loyalty, trying to rope this one into those things that will not be able to come over will be checked. I think I love that idea. It's a good one. Freeze the account, then let himself and his new cabinet, come in and begin to know where to begin from and open up that account, because Osun State people must enjoy this Yuletide period. Understand? He must do that for them. They should not be seen that because we change government, that's why we could not buy rice, buy chicken for our family. So I love that frozen of the account, because civil servants are very, very trickish people. They are the ones that work with politicians, whether in the ministries, whether in the government, in the executive government or whatever, that work with the politicians to loot the state. Now, he froze the account. No cover will go out from that account until he settles down and be able to know what, because he has no inventory of what goes on in the past 4 years in that state. He has no inventory of it. So these 2 weeks, he will be able to take inventory of what has gone on. Then he will even come out and tell the Osun people, this is exactly what I meant. This is what is on ground, and this is the direction I'm going to go. So it was a nice idea, freezing the account. Otherwise, he will be roped into things he may not be able to explain in the nearest future.
Now, do you think with what transpired, do you think that could possibly be the same thing? If you recall, for the fuel subsidy, they say by June 2023, there will no longer be subsidy. Although now I don't know if Nigerians are enjoying subsidy. I heard that if there is no subsidy, it means we'll be buying petrol for about 400 naira per litre, and we're actually getting there. But the government says they're paying for subsidy. Okay, so does it mean that in 2023, by that time, this current administration will not be? Do you understand? But if by 2023 they say there'll be no fuel subsidy, decisions are made for the next administration to continue. Is that based on the premise that it is still the All Progressives Congress that will continue government? Because most times when these policies are being made, I don't know if the next administration coming on board is being considered.
Yeah, Esther, I think we've discussed this matter before. I always tell you that this budget of 2023 that this government gave out and say subsidy will end by June, is not supposed to come from them. By June, they are no longer there. They are not beginning to dictate for the government that is coming. That one will be between the new government and Nigerians. They have done their 8 years, and we have seen the end of their 8 years. By May 29, this government is ended. As from June, a new government that is in Nigeria will tell us the direction is going to go about subsidy or not. A situation where you now begin to tell us subsidy will end in June 29. What concerns you about a government you are no longer in charge of? That's exactly what you are saying in Osun State now. We try to set unnecessary trap, try to set trouble down for the government that is coming, so that we now begin to have ground for criticism. Let the government come and land and start off where a situation where you now do budget and make it half. If you can pay subsidy for the past 8 years, almost 8 years you are there, why don't you say, even the 2023 budget, the subsidies is still captured the subsidy all through. Then let the government know as from 2024 whether they are going to include a subsidy or not. You are giving the government just less than a month to begin to think of whether budget subsidies should remain for Nigerians or not. I've always told you that's going to be the first litmus test for the government that is going to take over in Nigeria in 2023. Subsidy is going to be the first litmus test. Labour will kick against the removal of subsidy, and Nigerians cannot buy fuel at 400 naira, and the government will tell you that they don't have the money if they begin to pay subsidy. Esther, are you not seeing the diversity? Are you not seeing the big trouble that is going to come into this nation as from 2023 June, when this government says the subsidy budget will elapse? So setting those kind of traps down for an incoming government is very wrong. Especially when we are talking of the interest of the people. These are the people, the government, the constitution say the wealth for the government. But in Nigeria, the welfare of the people is not considered. That's why you see when they are leaving government, they try to leave the government with trouble down for the new government that is coming to come and start dragging how to survive. You see, some state governors, immediately they get into the office, they tell you that there was nothing in the account. They begin to look for loan to start off from, which is, we saw an example in Rivers. So when Wike took over in 2015, he told us that there was nothing in the accounts. So, but he has managed to survive to where we are today. So these are things that outgoing administration should not be setting trouble down for the incoming government just because of the incoming government is coming in for the welfare of the people, and you that were there was supposed to also be there for the welfare of the people. Let's not mix up these things. Let's not make it personal. Oh, let me give him tough time. You are not giving him tough time. You are giving the people of your state tough time. You are giving Nigerians tough time if you do that.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. You're still going to remain online though. So right now we're currently streaming on YouTube, especially if you cannot call in on the program, you can send in your comments on YouTube via the chat angle. Then we definitely read it out here on the program. You can also call the number 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and of course send in your WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. So Governor Adeleke has actually come on board. Inauguration has taken place. He has given his speech. There is that adrenaline, there is that pulse. He has asked the people of Osun State to try to be patient with him while he goes about making sure that things are properly in place so that they can enjoy the administration with him. And while he takes over the mantle of leadership, his predecessor did not have this aura of acceptance, and so there was no transition process, no auditory processes were made where no auditory processes were made available through which the current government can try to assess and know how they will hit the ground running. And so the conversation we're having today is this: is governance meant to be a personal endeavor? Is it not? When you are elected in office, you're elected by people. You did not elect yourself. You say you have the ability to lead. You say you have the quality of what it takes to make people happy. You say you have what it entails for you to lead, and then people can feel your process of leadership. And then when it is time for you to leave, or when it seems that you're falling short of your responsibility, you decide not to drop power anymore. Is it that intoxicating that when it is time for you to let it go, it's difficult for you to let it go? In this part of the world, how has it become that being a public office holder is a family tradition, or is something that is meant to stay with you forever? Why is the body language seem personal rather than for the people? Why is it not about public service and doing due diligence? If you did well, the people would have voted for you to stay on board. If you did what you were supposed to do, if they felt your governorship, if they felt your administration, if they would definitely stand in support, because they would definitely see physically all the things you have been doing and how your policies are working. So if that does not happen, why take it personal? All right, why take it personal? So the number to call 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and you can also send us your WhatsApp message right on here on the program. We'll definitely read it out here 0700 903 9039, and we are streaming live on YouTube, so you can call in to tell us precisely what you think concerning the conversation this morning. Governor Adeleke is now the governor of Osun State, and he's saying that most of all the government accounts will remain frozen, and that was the first executive order he carried out as soon as he came on board. And he claimed that actions, by his predecessor were put in place to create a roadblock for his administration to pick up smoothly, and he said they were wrong and they were improper. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm Professor Patrick. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, go ahead, Patrick.
Sorry, you see, the situation of this country is that our politicians are not in any way helping matters. The masses are dying every day. The lack of jobs and other things followed. What stop our politicians to do what is needful in order for us commoners to benefit from them? Let me just put it in that way.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for calling on the program. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. And of course, you can also send a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. And of course, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can send in your charts if you are somewhere where you cannot make a call. You can send in your comment on YouTube, and we'll definitely read it out here on the program. So all you need to do, if you have not subscribed, is to go to YouTube, search for Voice of the People 90.3 FM, click the subscribe button. So whenever any program is on here, you get a notification, and you can follow up virtually any part of the world, wherever it is you are. And also on the website is www.voiceofthepeople.ng. And the conversation we're having this morning is this. Adeleke has frozen government accounts and he reversed the state name. He said that this was due to the fact that there was no transition, there was no proper transition done from the previous administration to his, and so he needs to make a lot of investigations. He also said that all efforts to get the former governor, to set up a transition committee and submit handover notes in line with best practices proved abortive. He also alleged that mass employment were carried out without budgetary provisions, all right, for salary payments of these new employees. Hello, good morning. Please, can you turn down the audio of your radio, all right? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, welcome to the program.
Yeah, this is John Legend calling.
John Legend, how are you?
I bless the Lord.
All right, go ahead.
The truth is that this thing has become a tradition in Nigeria, because Nigeria government has become a social club where your own member, only your own member will win. If your own member did not win, it will be a problem. So what do you expect from him? That's exactly because all of these people being together, none of them have been probed for once. None of them have been hanged. None of them have put where it is supposed to be. That is the problem of Nigeria. They are sharing this country from family to family, from my friends to my classmates, from my classmates to my principal, from my principal to... That is how Nigerian government is. I wish him well. I know by the special grace of God, this time around, power must change hands in Nigeria. We will definitely have a good government at the end of the day, because a new dawn is coming to take over. And I believe that he himself, as likewise what somebody said, the person that is speaking was just said, as he is a dancing senator, let him bring joy to his people, not sadness and this thing. So in terms of all this, what do you call it, Godfather, this is a problem. If we can only remove Godfather in our government, Nigeria will be okay. Thank you this morning.
Thank you so much, John Legend. Thank you for calling on the program. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039, and we're streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is to go on there and send a comment or write on YouTube if you're somewhere where you cannot actively participate on the program this morning. Hello? Hello, good morning. Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please. There's a feedback and it's distorted. Hello, you haven't done that. Please turn down the audio of your radio completely. Hello?
Yes, I've turned it down.
All right, okay. Your name, please, and location. Hello?
The name, please, and location. Wankwo.
Okay.
Emeka Wankwo.
All right. Hello, Emeka. Hello. Okay, I think Emeka is busy because there's a lot of ambience feedback. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello, good morning. Please turn down the audio of your radio when you call. All right, please. Hello. Hello. please, when you do call, turn down the audio of your radio. If you don't, there'll be feedback and we can't hear what you're saying and we'll definitely not be able to carry on. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. That's the WhatsApp number for you to call. While on YouTube, we're streaming live. So if you're somewhere where you know you cannot actively participate, that's call in, possibly because you're working. Well, we're streaming live, so you can virtually join us and send in your comments in there with your name and tell us what you think concerning the conversation we're having this morning on issues in the news. And the conversation we're having this morning is this: the governor of Osun State is saying that there was no proper transition of his the previous administration to him. He said all efforts to try to get that proved abortive. That's number one. Number two, he also said that mass employments were carried out with no means through which these persons who were employed would be paid, considering the fact that they owe salaries. They have a lot of salary arrears. So how comes a few days to when you know you're going to leave government, you are employing people en masse? In what way would you pay them their salaries? Those were one of the things he talked about. And so he's saying that he froze the account. One of the executive orders he gave was to freeze the account of the government. He said he's asking for the patience of the people. So he needs to ensure that things will no longer be the way they used to be. And of course, like Mr. Elvis rightly analyzed for us here, he said because in order for him to do that, he needs to know what he's getting himself into. It could be a booby trap by his predecessor, and so he needs to avoid that. But the question is, why do public office holders think that it is their right or their mandate to hold on to positions without wanting to let go? It's very few occasions when it is time to hand over, especially for persons in public offices, that you will hear that there was no controversy surrounding them having to hand over to whoever is supposed to occupy that position.
I am Ike from Okota.
ID or IG?
Ike.
Oh, Ike. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Please go ahead, Ike.
Yeah. You see, the problem is that whenever they were voted in, the enjoyment and the stealing and other things they do there without any consequences that made them to insist that they must be there. And the case now is in court. So that was why he still have hope that he is going to win. That is why all efforts made by Adeleke to get in touch with him for the transition, he refused to do that. Yes, he refused to answer him. And they even appoint people at dying minute of his going out. So because of his having hope that in court he's going to win, that is why he's behaving like that. But if we have a better court in this country, they should know that this election has been done in Ekiti State with the same process, and that person was there. That governor has been sworn in. So this person in this Osun State should be sworn in and let him be there. Let the court quash all these things because the person knows that he failed. They know that they failed. They promise and they will not do anything. Then when people vote you out, you start going to court. Like what happened in Imo State. Somebody that came forth, the court gave him the seat to sit there. So that's what the APC people are doing. They should get out of the road, please. I'm sorry to use get out, but they should stop that mess. They should stop it.
All right.
That man has gone to stay. God will lead him to stay. I'm not from Osun State, but God will lead him to stay. I don't support evil. Thank you.
Thank you, Ike, for calling on the program. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number for you to call this morning on issues in the news. You can also send us a WhatsApp message. We'll read it out here on the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Pastor Joshua.
Pastor Joshua.
From Yaba.
All right, Pastor Joshua, go ahead, please.
I think I will agree with the last caller.
Okay.
That they should do everything, the politicians should do everything in line with the wall of God, with the fear of God.
Okay.
See, a lot of people don't believe in the wall of God.
Pastor Joshua, are you using a hands-free?
What?
Are you using a hands-free to make this call? Because you're fading.
Okay, it's not clear.
Yes, so it seems like your hands free. Maybe you're not putting your mouth directly or something. I don't know. Hello? All right, please do call back, Pastor Joshua. I would like to hear what you want to say. However, we have a message on WhatsApp. This is Mr. Timothy from Surulere. What Governor Adeleke did is good to freeze the state account, also for him to set packing all the newly appointment made by the former governor will send a signal to other governors in such habit. Thank you so much, Timothy, for sending that message. And this is from Comrade Peterson Ekene from Ejigbo. He says, governance is supposed to be for continuity, but what we see in every APC government is shambolic. May Osun government supposed to be a permanent May Osun government supposed to be a permanent personal possession for the outgoing government? People should make sure that APC should not be voted in most possessions. Okay, please, when you send your WhatsApp comments, try as much as possible to make it legible. We need to be able to understand or comprehend what message you're trying to put across. All right, so 0700 903 903 903, that is the number to call. You can also send your WhatsApp message comprehensively so that I can read it, and so anyone listening to the program can understand what you're trying to say. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How was your weekend?
My weekend was okay. This voice sounds familiar, but tell us your name and your location.
I'm going from Eva.
Oh, welcome to the program. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Yeah, you're a very good president. I used to enjoy you every day from Monday to Friday.
Thank you. You
are simply the best.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, go ahead. Let's hear what you want to say on the program.
This month, you know that 2018 election in Osun, I monitored it.
Hello?
Adeleke defeated this man.
Okay.
I defeated him, but they stole his mandate. Because I know the time where somebody ran away with the result, 2000, the last person that will bring the result ran away with the result. Adeleke was leading him with 2000.
Hello? Oh. Okay, we lost that connection. Please call back. All right, let's hear what you let's completely hear what you wanted to tell us on this particular conversation this morning. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. And we're streaming live on YouTube. You know, we're talking about Governor Adeleke freezing the state accounts, changing name, rather than saying the state of Osun, it's now Osun State, and of course asking for the people's patience and understanding why he kicks up his governance and do what is needed to be done. And here is the irony: our dancing governor is now the governor, or rather our dancing senator is now the governor of Osun State. And a lot of you have been saying that we need joy, we need to smile, we need a sense of grace in governance. All right, an inclusive sense of grace in governance. Let's hope that Governor Adeleke is able to give us that without any glitch or any hitches or any opposition whatsoever. All right. And this is from Majaro Taiwo from Ejigbo. Good morning. I think what the outgoing governor did is very bad. Who asked him not to perform well in order to come back? He should go and rest. All right. Thank you very much, Majaro Taiwo. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You can also send us a WhatsApp message this morning on 0700 903 9039, as well as on YouTube, sending your comments right on there, and we get to read it on the program. And we're talking about the Osun State governorship inauguration that took place yesterday, and Governor Adeleke was able to express himself, talk avidly on what his administration intends to prove, what it intends to reel out now that he is the governor, and the areas through which he intends to concentrate on. He talked about education, he talked about alleviating poverty, he talked about projects and infrastructural development which he feels his predecessor did not work on, and he intends to also pay salaries as it when due. However, he's asking for the patience of the people while he tries to look through some certain things that he came and met on ground so that he can help move the state forward. That's the conversation we're having this morning. The outgoing governor did not set up a transition committee whereby there's a proper handing over. That wasn't done, and he's saying the roadblocks were already put in place for him while he was reeling out his mandate. Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning. I'm Pastor Joshua.
Pastor Joshua, thank you for calling back. Please go ahead.
Yes. The truth remains that, like what the Reverend Father has always said, the bishop, that nobody should kill himself for the politicians in Nigeria.
Mm.
But concerning the NNPC and the OPEC today, that you cannot eat well in Nigeria. At eating kerosene, the poor people cannot eat kerosene to cook, and they cannot put the refineries in Nigeria together because of the interest they are making.
Mm.
So they put the poor, especially the poor people, into fear. But now hear the word of God concerning the OPEC, the NNPC, and the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Company. The Lord said that my finger is killing them. Say, I am the Lord that is killing them. And they are looking for who is killing them. Say, I am the Lord.
Thank you.
The Lord said that the Lord, I will deliver Nigeria to the minute. I am going to deliver Nigeria to the minute, and by minute I will deliver Nigeria. Says the Lord.
Thank you.
That is what I have.
Thank you, Pastor Joshua. Thank you, Pastor Joshua, for calling. I think Pastor Joshua will be the final call on the program today. However, let's quickly speak with Mr. Elvis based on the calls that have come in. Mr. Elvis.
Yes, I'm with you.
You heard the callers.
Yes.
So what's the wrap up for before we go off today?
First of all, I have to congratulate the Osun people. And secondly, I want the governor to know that some of those promises must translate into actions.
Okay.
Not just promises, and at the end of the day, in 4 years' time, Osun people will be really in the same pains that they just came out from. So every promise he made now, he must sit tight and execute them. Infrastructure is necessary, education is necessary, health is necessary. The Osun people need to bring smile back to their faces again. And I thank God he has that zeal, he has that bubbling heart. He should be able to do that the way he is. I mean, a dancer is always a happy person. So he should make everybody across, from one end of that state to the other to be happy too. I think that's congratulations to the Osun people. Let's watch out for the next 4 years again what will happen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis, as usual, for your intellectual input. Mr. Elvis is a practicing journalist. He is a civic advocate. He's also a public commentator, a social affairs commentator. I would say he's well-grounded. I'm sure most times on this program, when you hear him have to analyze on most of these issues in various segments, Mr. Elvis always breaks it down, and passionately too. He does that. All right, so it's a wrap in today's segment of Issues in the News. I will definitely see you tomorrow. My name is Esther Wachuku. You can follow me via social media on Facebook at Esther Wachuku, on Instagram at Esther Nwaz, ESTANWAZ, and of course on Twitter at Esther Wachuku. Remember that once you subscribe to the Voice of the People, definitely you get notified on any program that is on. We stream most of our programs, so you can actually virtually be part of the conversation while we're carrying on. It's amazing to be with you on this program today. I will definitely see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic